Hi students, today we are going to discuss about microeconomics versus macroeconomics. We already studied the microeconomics and macroeconomics in our first year classes. Now we are going to just recollect the knowledge what we were studying in that classes. Our fifth sem classes mainly concentrated macroeconomics, its theories, its practicals, etc. For considering the macroeconomics, we must know about microeconomics. So we are going to discuss about what is microeconomics. Before study microeconomics, we are starting from what is economics. We all know that economics is a branch of social science. It studies how the scarce resources are allocated to satisfy the unlimited wants of the people. We know that the wants of the people are unlimited, but our resources are scarce in nature. So under economics, we studied about how these scarce resources are allocated to satisfy the unlimited wants of the population. Then the economics has mainly two branches, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. So we have to discuss what is microeconomics. That is, microeconomics is the study of economic analysis that involves the decision making by individuals, households and business. That is, it is a study of single unit or smaller components. It is study only allocation of individuals, households and business, etc. On the other hand, while we study macroeconomics, it is a concept of whole study. That is, the macroeconomic analysis studies the behavior of the economy as a whole. It is an aggregate study. Under macroeconomics, we will study about the whole nation's inflation rate, what will be the nation's unemployment level, and what will be the GDP rate, etc. Okay, these two branches, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics, these two terms, branches, provided its term by Norwegian economist Ragnar Frisk in the year 1933. This is a picture of Ragnar Frisk. He coined the two words, two terms, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, again, what are the scope of microeconomics? We already studied that microeconomics has limited scope. That is, microeconomic theories has mainly three important scopes. First one is it mainly studied commodity pricing, and the second one is it concentrated on factor pricing theories or theories of distribution. Again, the microeconomic theory explained the theory of economic welfare. These are the three important scope of microeconomics. Under commodity pricing theory of microeconomics, we will study we studied demand theory and supply theory. Demand and supply are the main determinant factor of a commodity's price. Again, under factor pricing theory or theory of distribution, we studied about the remuneration of four factors of production, that is land, labor, capital and organization are the four factors of production, and their remuneration are rent, wages, interest and profit. How these remunerations will distribute among the factors, that come under factor pricing theory. Again, the separate branch of microeconomics is that the theory of economic welfare. Under theory of economic welfare, we will study about the welfare of the economy, or how the economy's welfare satisfied. Under the economic welfare theory, we have certain questions. That is, the questions that is familiar to you: what to produce, how to produce, when to produce and for whom to produce. The commodity which is selected, or what the commodity we will produce, or how the commodity we will produce, when the commodity produce and for whom to produce. That is, the questions come under economic welfare theory. Again, these are the important features of microeconomics. We already studied that microeconomics, it is a study about individual unit. It is not the study of whole unit, it study only a particular units. Again, it is the second feature is that the theory mainly concentrated on price. That is, the microeconomics study about price theory. That is, how the price of the commodity determined. The demand and the supply of the commodity determine the price of the commodity. Again, the theory is mainly based on partial equilibrium analysis. We discussed that the microeconomics is the study of individual unit. So, individual units leads to a partial equilibrium analysis. There is no scope for a general equilibrium analysis study. Again, the fourth feature of the microeconomics is that most of the microeconomic theories are mainly based on certain assumptions. That is, for our knowledge, we studied the theory of marginal utility. For example, the marginal utility theory is based on certain assumptions like certainty, transitivity, rationality, etc. If we violate these assumptions, the theory will not stand. So, the important feature of microeconomics is that the theory of microeconomics are based on assumptions. Again, the microeconomics is a slicing method theory. That is, it study only a single layer, not study the whole part of the economy, or it study the single unit. Again, the sixth feature of the microeconomics is that it is mainly used marginal principles. That is, in our first year classes, we study large number of marginal utility theories. Marginal utility theory, EQ marginal utility theory, law of diminishing marginal utility theory, etc. That is, according to the microeconomic theory, the utility can be calculated. Again, the theory, that is microeconomics, mainly concentrated on analyzing the market structure. Here we included the markets are perfect competitive market, monopoly market, oligopoly market, etc. And these theories, the market theories, mainly associated how the equilibrium price and output determination. Again, the last feature of microeconomics is that the microeconomics has limited scope because it is a study of individual unit and it has limited scope, that is 3 in scope. That is, it mainly concentrated on price theory, distribution theory and economic welfare theory. So its scope is also limited. Then we are pass on to the next branch, that is macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is that branch of economics will deal with the economy as a whole instead of individual unit. Under macroeconomics, we will consider the national income, general price level, employment level, level of saving and investment. Again, the balance of trade and balance of payment. I know balance of trade and balance of payments are newly concept for you. Balance of trade include the visible items of international trade, that is import and export of goods account. And in case of balance of payment, we will include both the visible and invisible item. So here we have to say that macroeconomics has a wide scope. It includes the whole nation's income, its general price level, employment level, the whole saving and investment of the economy, and it also included the external affairs of an economy. Then we have to compare, or we have to differentiate the microeconomics and macroeconomics. According to its meanings, the both microeconomics and macroeconomics are different. In microeconomics, it study individual units and how the individual decisions regarding the allocation of scarce resources. On the other hand, macroeconomics deals with the aggregate or large units. It's a study of whole, that is the structure, behavior and decision making in an economy as a whole. Again, microeconomics and macroeconomics differentiate between its derivations. That is, the meaning of microeconomics is small and the meaning of macroeconomics is large. Again, it has difference in its application also. According to the microeconomic theory, we have to apply the microeconomic theory only in operational or internal issues. On the other hand, we have to apply the macroeconomics in external or environmental issues. Then we have to differentiate the microeconomics and macroeconomics according to its concern. In microeconomics, we concerned only single economic variables such as demand, price and consumers. On the other hand, macroeconomics, we will consider the aggregate of the economy such as aggregate national income, aggregate savings and aggregate output, etc. Okay, so it has difference between concern also. Next, the microeconomics and macroeconomics different in its scope also. Microeconomics has narrow in scope. On the other hand, macroeconomics has wide range of scope because macroeconomics is a study of aggregate. On the other hand, microeconomics is a study of an individual unit. Again, both the micro and macroeconomics has central problems to discuss. These two central problems are different. Under microeconomics, the central problem is price determination and allocation of resources. How the price is determined and how the resources, scarce resources are allocated is a central problem in microeconomics. On the other hand, macroeconomics mainly consider the determination of level of income and employment. How the economy can determine the level of income and employment is the central problem of macroeconomics. Again, the importance of micro and macro is also different. Microeconomics is mainly ascertain price of a product and other factors of production. How the price of the product is determined and other factors of production determined is the importance of the microeconomics. On the other hand, under macroeconomics, it is mainly studied how the economy can maintain price stability, or how the economy can avoid price fluctuation, and also it is helpful in solving various economic problems such as poverty, unemployment, etc. So microeconomics and macroeconomics are different in its meaning, derived from application, concern, scope, central problem and importance, etc. Here we discuss about what is microeconomics, its scope, its importance, etc. and just we started the macroeconomics. We already studied these concepts in our +2 classes and again in first year degree classes. Now we are going to start a new subject, that is macroeconomics in detail, in our 5th sem classes. Okay. Next you have an assignment, that is watch the video carefully and write a short note on the difference between micro and macroeconomics. Thank you.